So I'm a really big fan of the subreddit hypothetical situations. It might be my second most favorite. My favorite, of course, is Bar Rescue. Bar Rescue subreddit, number one. But number two is hypothetical situations. And I came across one yesterday, and I was like, oh, this is a good question. Would you rather have telekinesis, the power to move things with your mind, or $250 million? And I think the answer is less clear than I think most people. Oh, just give me $250 million. But if you can move things with your mind, man, there's no telling how much money you could make, right? First of all, just as a novelty act, right? You go to America's Got Talent and all that stuff, and then you have a Vegas residency, just moving things with your mind. Everyone says, oh, it's strings and all that stuff. You get paid crazy. David Copperfield? That dude makes like $40 million a year, and he doesn't have actual magic, right? If you have telekinesis, you got actual magic. But then, now you think about it, you go to casino, right? And you say, oh, I'm going to bet it all on black. And then you make the ball boop, 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 land on black.
But this is a lot of work I have to do to acquire a lot of money when you're giving me the option to just acquire a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't have to do all this work of being an...
But it's a cool power. You'd have a power that
cool.
no one else has.
You make a ton of money. And also, you can use the power for other things that money can't buy, right? Hey, I'm playing basketball. Tony, you hoop. Wouldn't it be nice to like magically
To never miss?
Yeah, like basically use the power of your mind and say, no, it's not going off.
Can I just clear traffic?
You'd be Steph Curry. You realize that you'd shoot 100% from the field?
That'd be nice. I'd actually like that.
You can't go 100% because then
Suspicious?
Yeah, you gotta lose
Just like the
enough.
roulette thing, though, too.
Yes.
You got to lose a little bit.
Can I Bruce Almighty traffic? Like, just like...
I mean, yes, but you might hurt some people that way,
Using your
Chris.
power for evil.
Yeah, that's not good.
As Bruce Almighty himself learned.
I feel like when Bruce did it, though, everyone safely was pushed out of the
Bruce
way.
was God, so he did it in a way that he could change things.
Benevolently.
Yeah.
He wasn't God. He had God's help. He was not God.
He had God's power.
Morgan Freeman was God.
Yeah,
Well,
correct.
Clearly, obviously.
Well, he made him God for the day, basically. So, you know what? Go ahead. It's so easy.
He was renting, okay?
Okay.
He was not. There was not God ownership there.
No ownership. No.
Morgan Freeman. We can all agree Morgan Freeman gives off more God than Jim Carrey does. And
I don't know. Based on what's happened in the world over the last 10 years, I kind of feel like God's a little bit more Jim Carrey. A little just out of control, smoking. Hey.
My brother for years around here played Would You Rather with us. It's a game that we used to play all the time, but they were more negative things like that. They weren't positive. You weren't having a choice. Chris Cody, a bit allergic to work, just found the flaw in the hypothetical when he said, well, I can go to a casino and try to win this at roulette $17 at a time, or you can just wire $250 million to my account, but I don't need to have the power of ever using my mind, which is pretty much the job he now has.
Zagaki.
Look, Chris, there's things that money can't buy, though, man, and that's that joy. It's like yesterday, we actually upped the ante. I was talking to Tony about this yesterday. I said, what about telepathy, right? Mind control. And I was like, yo, you can walk into any bank and legally have them give you money because, like, hey, I need you to give me this loan for $100 million. And then, like, every time it comes due, like, it's not due yet. And they're like, yeah, you're right. It's not due yet. And you're cool. And
So that's not hurting people?
Well, no, the bank. Who am I hurting at the bank?
You're exactly right.
Come on,
They've been
man.
hurting us for years.
But it's an inefficient way to do it, given that instead of just taking the $250 million, now you're asking for a loan and paying the interest on it.
I'm not paying
no, zero interest loan. Come
I'm
on.
a Vegas act. I'm
Yeah.
like conning casinos.
Yeah.
Like I could just have $250 million.
But you know what you can't do if you have mind control? Like with $250, or if you have $250 million and no mind control, Tony's got a young baby. Baby cries and is feeling pain and stuff. Mind control. Hey, you're not in pain. And the baby's like, you know what? You're not. Right, I'm not. You can't do that with money. $1 billion, $200 billion couldn't do that. Mind control, baby. It's the best superpower there is.
I got stuck the other day. You mentioned magic and Copperfield. Can you guys look up for me the magician who is paid the most? Because Copperfield is famous for a salary that's insane. I don't know if he's making more than David Blaine these days. But the real magic of magic is that the other night, because as I often do, I wasn't in the mood for something that was 2 hours or an hour and 30 minutes long, all of a sudden I'm on Netflix and yep, I've watched a full 50-minute magic show.
Wow.
Yes. Is it Jake Wellman? I don't remember what the person's name is, but what he was doing didn't have any explanation that I could tell. And I found myself fascinated, even though I would assume, obviously, that it's not actual magic powers that he has.
Dan, I've got a list for you. Net worth richest magicians in the world. We got 5, and we got 5 OLIs.
Wow.
You ready to do this?
Whoa,
Yes.
I don't know if I am ready to do this. Let me get the fanfare for you. Go ahead.
All right.
Is this dead or alive or active?
This is everyone. All
Everyone,
time. This
okay.
is all time according to Carnival of Illusion.
We've got 2 lists right now that we're going to get together, and I think this one's great, but I think Chris Cody's got a better one. Top 25 NFL players of all time.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to go dueling where you go with your 10 or your OLI, and then Chris, where's your list from, Chris?
CBS Sports, but I'll do top 10 here. Let's do top 10.
Okay, here we go. Number 10, David Blaine, $12 million.
Wait. That's it?
Modest.
Number 10, Dan Marino.
David Blaine of the NFL. Number 9, the amazing Jonathan, also known as the Freddy Krueger of comedy, $15 million.
That guy has more money than David Blaine?
Yeah.
Number 9, Barry Sanders.
Number 8, Number 8, Uri Geller, $20 million.
I was more impressed by Barry Sanders' magic than Uri Geller's.
Me too.
Penn and Geller. Number 8, Reggie White.
Minister of Defense?
Number 7, the world's fastest illusionist, Dutch magician Hans Klok, $25 million.
You know what? David Blaine needs a better agent.
Tony just said, he mouthed it, what are we doing? Once you've gone,
Hans Klok.
you can't go, give me a Dutch magician and tell me he's better than David Blaine.
Guys, it's working its way up.
Dude was in ice for like 15 days.
Number 7, Lawrence Taylor.
Number 6, and admittedly this might be cheating a little bit, Neil Patrick Harris, $40 million.
This list stinks.
Carnival Illusion.
Number 6, Peyton Manning.
Chris Cody's list is good, and he's feeling good. Like, he is feeling so good about never using his mind.
Watch this. Number 5, they call him the mind freak, Chris Angel, $50 million.
Number 5, Joe Montana.
He signed a record-breaking contract at the Monte Carlo Resort in Las Vegas back in '94. It's Lance Burton, $100 million.
Lance Berkman was a magician?
The Puma.
Number 4, Walter Payton.
Sweetness.
Number 3, a pair of guys that we talked about a lot on this show about a year ago or so, Siegfried and Roy, $120 million.
I thought he was going to go Penn and Geller there.
Were they magic or were they just,
Number
tiger
number
trainers?
3, Jim Brown.
Number 2, we've made several jokes about them during this list right here. It's Penn and Teller, $300 million for the bad boys of magic.
Number 2, Jerry Rice.
The goat.
Who's going to be the number 1 player in the history of the NFL? I wonder.
Number 1, at clocking in at over $1 billion, David Copperfield. Take that $250 million and shove it up your ass.
No way.
That's a lot of money.
A
to put up
billion
there.
for magic?
Am I doing it $1 at a time? like
A hundy.
Well, how much do you normally do, Dan?
Like the slots. Where's Houdini?
Depends on whether
Broke.
I'm wearing my high heels or not.
Broke boy Houdini.
No way. One of the greatest magicians ever, Broke Boy?
Broke boy, man. The forerunners, that's what always happens, man.
I want to get to.
We got number 1.
Number 1,
We know who number 1 is. There's no
Gale
point.
Sayers.
Wow.
It's Tom Brady. I thought Gale Sayers was like a journalist.
What?
And a woman.
Gail King.
Just thought Gale Sayers. Maybe I'm doing Gail King. Like I just
Yeah, you are doing Gail
No,
King.
you are.
Hold on.
I did Gale Sayers like that. You said that if you would have said that name to me when I walked in today, I would have just been like, who is that? Like CNN? Where's he work?
Put it on the poll. Did you think that Gale Sayers was Oprah's best friend? And also put at LeBatard Show. Have you ever known anyone who thought Gale Sayers was a woman?
I said a journalist. It could have been a man.
It is a very unorthodox name for a man, right? Gale. Do we have any other Gales in history?
Breaking Bad.
Wasn't the Australian player for Seton Hall named Andrew? Was it Gale? No, or is it
Andrew
Andrew
Gaze.
Oh, I thought. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I'm talking about first name Gale. First name Gale?
Wasn't there a famous ship that got lost at sea that has a gale in it?
The Gale probably made it lost this season.
One of the lead
Wind.
characters from The Hunger Games, played by Liam Hemsworth. Yeah, Liam Hemsworth.
So no real people.
Gale.
Cool.
By the way, those Hemsworths, all of them smoldering, and I was not understanding why it is you would get a smoldering Hemsworth and have a Mad Max Fury Road sequel and decide to get one of these smoldering Hemsworths and put a giant prosthetic nose on him. I was just confused. If you're going to get one of these smoldering Hemsworths, just let them be beautiful. Do not put a giant prosthetic nose on a Hemsworth.
Two things. Number one, it's called acting, Dan. They want to stretch their abilities. Number two, there is an ugly Hemsworth. It's the one that was in Westworld. He's the one that's like, you're a Hemsworth,
And he's
really?
scrawny.
Yeah, it's like, you're related? You sure? I don't know.
Find me his first name and then make the poll. Is blank Hemsworth the Cooper Manning of the Hemsworth?
What, just Googled the ugly Hemsworth?
Is there an ugly Hemsworth?
Westworld Hemsworth.
Luke.
No, wait a
Jeremy.
minute.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
Luke.
Is it? Wait a minute.
You
Is
Google
Hold on.
ugly Hemsworth brother, and Luke is what comes
But
up.
it's not fair. Is he actually? Look, I'm not comfortable calling
Type in
just
ugly
about
Cody brother.
anybody
See what comes up.
ugly.
This is the deal. He's got a big face, but all of his facial features are bunched into the same area. The eyes, the nose, and mouth are right here, and then the rest of this is just a
Put it
massive
on the poll
expanse.
at LeBatard Show. Is everyone ugly compared to the Hemsworths?
And here's the issue where you're talking about tall brothers, right? Both Hemsworth brothers are two of the three tall, maybe 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
This one, maybe sub-6.
Not good.
5'9".
5'9". Come
I
on,
got a good
man.
eye on that, huh?
Come on, man.
Oof.
Ooh, there's
no-
a Craig Hemsworth.
There's a fourth Hemsworth.
Who's that?
There's a fourth Hemsworth.
We were just talking about
Look-
siblings.
Look at that.
Like,
Look at
what do
these
you have?
two.
But
Now you're telling me
you
this
guys
is
are unfair.
Look at that.
He's not ugly. He's just ugly compared to the Hemsworths, and we all are.
He is a Hemsworth.
I'd
Well,
actually take the
speak
one
for
on the
yourself.
right. I'd go with the one on the right over the left. I mean, the middle is clearly the best.
Roy, I will speak for you as well.
Okay.
Compared to the Hemsworths, you are ugly because everyone who stands next to the Hemsworths is ugly.
What
Thing
are
to
you
say.
talking about, man? He
I'm
looks
not
like
saying anyone's ugly. I'm just saying they're ugly compared to the Hemsworths.
See, to me, there's one that's clearly the best looking, and I don't know their
Sure.
names. The one on the right
It's
now.
Thor.
That's
We
Thor.
call him Thor,
He's
yeah.
clearly the best looking one. The other two, I would put on the same plane.
It's
in
really
terms of
like a
good looking.
Pokemon evolution of each other. Like you start at one, you evolve to that next step, and then you
Devolve.
end up at Chris.
He's right though. It's the chart of evolution where you start with
Yeah.
with a baboon and then you end up at a human being. What a terrible thing to say about the short Hemsworth here.
You
but
said it,
does,
I mean.
it does
Hey,
look
I had
like
nothing to do
Hemsworth.
with it. Not me. No, sir.
Anyway, moving on to other things. We've got pitch clock. For those of you who did not get enough baseball in the 4 hours that we did last night, I've got another clip that I want to play for you guys to celebrate that. But if you haven't been a part of our watch parties, and we're going to be doing more and more of these over the course of the next couple of years, and hopefully we will watch more game than we did last night because yesterday was a contrivance and then we didn't end up actually watching the games. We just ended up talking for 4 hours. But one of the interesting things that happened, and at the end of this hour, for those of you who missed it, we're going to relive Game 1 of the finals of the NBA and the watch party we did with Mero, my dad, and an assortment of others. But one of the highlights from last night was the general awkwardness of what I'm about to describe, which is many years ago, the Marlins, Jeffrey Luria, the owner of the Marlins, had hired Bobby Valentine. And David Sampson did an assortment of things to try and undermine the fact that his owner had hired someone that he and Larry Beinfest did not want as the manager. Bobby Valentine and David Sampson do not like each other, but they did have last postseason some time on a set where they were doing baseball analysis. And so Sampson said, we're cool now. We're fine. We buried the hatchet. But then Bobby Valentine came on later, and there was some question about whether or not these two people bury hatchets the same way, because it seems like Sampson buried the hatchet, and it seems like Valentine is still swinging it. Not as awkward as it would have been if Bobby Valentine had shown up here and seen David's face. Am I wrong, David?
You are actually, because we finished that entire bit of awkwardness last October when he and I did pre and post game for CBS Sports and as analysts for the World Series. And the way that happened is we each got a call from the higher ups at that network saying, how would you feel about working with Valentine? And how would you feel about working with Sampson? And we both said, hey, no problem. And so we were in studio together every day, watching every World Series game together and doing all the pre and post. And we talked about what had happened, and everything was fine again.
I was happy to hear that you and David Sampson had buried the hatchet last postseason.
Well, I can't. Is that a fact? I don't know. Buried the hatch? Well, I think right at the end, I think we worked together, and right at the end, I might have said something like, I forget what I might have said, but I might have said something like, do you know that I wasn't the one that told Buster Olney about me being the manager of the Marlins? And I think he walked to his car, and I walked to my car, and I guess that's the way we buried the hatchet, I guess.
That's not a buried hatchet.
Not even a little bit.
Was he sitting on a recliner or an office chair? I want that to be a
Office
recliner.
It seemed like a recliner to me.
I think it's an office chair.
I want it
He
to
also
be a
had his
recliner.
camera covered by half of a pillow or a T-shirt or
Love it.
something for
Love it.
a overwhelming majority of the time.
That was
on
not
with
a
us.
buried hatchet. That is the smile of a man who enjoyed not burying that hatchet with David Sampson. That's the smile of a man not unlike Amin earlier in the show when he was fearing AI that would like to bury that hatchet in Sampson's forehead.
Very white teeth.
The way he looks right here is, you said, do you guys bury the hatchet? You mean this thing right here? Right in Sampson's
Can
face.
you guys find for me, please, why it is that people would bury hatchets? I was very happy there as you see that that screen. Go ahead, Amin.
I don't know if you want to find out that etymology.
Do you know?
I believe it has something to do with Pilgrims and Native Americans.
Okay. I do want to know, though, America's ugly history. I don't want to hide it from the people. Okay. And if it's hidden in a phrase like buried the hatchet, I would just want the information of that. But on the screen, you may have noticed in one of the boxes, and all of this is available by YouTube if you want to watch any of it from last night. But Jeff Miller was there of the Los Angeles Times. And the reason Jeff Miller was there was only to tell what is, I believe, the most embarrassing story of my professional career.
What'd it get?
It doesn't rank as my biggest professional regret. We'll get to that next week. But as an embarrassment, Jeff Miller told the story of being at Shea Stadium. I was in my early 20s, and we were in the press box, and he was like, you won't do it. I'm like, I will do it. He's like, you won't do that. I'm like, I will do it. And I was pushing a piece of carrot cake that was stale and starched and terrible toward the edge of the press box window, and there were people down below. And so he's like, you will not do that. That's too unprofessional. I'm like, stop daring me to do it. And I eventually just flicked it over. Damn. Now, I know. I'm
Savage. Should start a new Chris Cody of the Day segment.
I'm embarrassed by this. And they brought Jeff Miller on to embarrass me and tell that story. And he did. He's telling it to Bobby Valentine, who I thought was the manager of the Mets at the time. He wasn't. It was Dallas Green. But I'm pushing this carrot cake. That's not the funniest part of the story. That's the embarrassing part of the story. But it gets better because after I push it, he's shocked. I'm looking at him shocked. And I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. That was a bad decision. Then I hear from down below, hey, what the blah, 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 blah. But then I hear from above me, no, believe you, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Because nobody from the press box would throw a carrot cake. So now they're arguing. I'm hiding, and I'm laughing with Jeff Miller because someone's got frosting down below.
You got to look up at that point and be like, what the heck, guys? Come on. Like, what are we doing here?
Like, I saw it.
Be civilized.
He blamed the guy in the upper deck?
Yes, well, because it wouldn't have come from the press box. Because there's just no way on earth that Mike Francesa is doing that from the press box.
But there would never just be a plate of pie like in the stand. So it's like you have to do some math here. It's like, but you're right. You would never think a journalist would do that.
You just skip right over, like you put a mental block. Well, it's not this.
So you think you have this frosting in your hair and you're thinking to yourself, I think the media commissary is where that would come from. They're not selling carrot cake at concessions in the upper deck.
Where can I get a nice plate of cake?
So
Is there
a
someone's
guy
birthday
who's
party up
yelling,
there?
"Hey, bleep off!" in the middle of Flushing, New York. Guy, he's got icing on his face. You think he's saying to himself, well, that carrot cake couldn't have come from the upper deck. They're clearly there, and maybe going up to the upper deck because he'd like some carrot cake because they're selling
Is
it
there
up there
someone's
and not
birthday?
down
Like,
below.
what are we doing here?
What type of 8th grade peer pressure did you succumb to?
I was in my early 20s.
Don't dare Dan. He will do it.
Again,
Did he double dog dare you?
not proud of it. I will also say, Shea Stadium carrot cake, early 90s, deserved it.
It deserved to be thrown on
It was
someone?
terrible. Terrible. You think that I've gone a lot of my life not putting that carrot cake in my mouth?
Yeah. That's the biggest upset here.
Apparently, Amin was right on burying the hatchet.
The phrase is an allusion to the figurative or literal practice of putting away weapons at the cessation of hostiles or hostilities among or by indigenous peoples of the Americas and the eastern United States and Canada.
But is it a physical burying of an actual hatchet?
Yeah, they would bury their weapons at peacetime, and then, well, we know what would happen when it wasn't peacetime.
Yeah.
They'll take him out.
America.
We got to a
America's what
peacetime. I'm trying to find
Well,
Three
Amin was
Americas.
right. It does sort
No,
of.
America happened.
Yeah, that's right.
3 America.
Yeah, always is 3 Americas. Latins get left out, Dan, in those 2 America jokes. I don't like that. That's why I would say 3.
Well, there's more than 3.
Well, it's 4 Americas.
If we're going to do that.
Many more than 4.
Stefan
5.
Whitecastle.
Nice.
Hispanics, I don't know that anyone has noticed this because Hispanics, especially during this time when we're talking so much about immigrants, but Hispanics, generally speaking, very grateful to be in this country. Hispanics, generally speaking, you do not hear a lot of complaints from Hispanic minorities that are public or whimpering, because that doesn't tend to be what is taught in our culture. But the end result of that is that our demo, which is the unicorn in media, go ahead and name all the Hispanic people on, I don't know, Fox or ESPN Sports. Go ahead.
George Sedano.
Friend or coworker?
Everybody on Deportes.
Sedano, yeah.
Go ahead. What's the second one?
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Eduardo Perez.
Keep going.
Eduardo Perez. There you go.
Keep going. There, yeah.
Tato
Dan
Martinez
Le
with Turner.
Oh,
Turner.
yeah.
It gets hard.
No, hold on.
And
Dan
there,
Le Batard.
there aren't a lot of women, and it gets difficult to do.
women.
The
Jessica
demo,
Mendoza. She's a
Yes.
great baseball analyst.
the demo does not get represented proportionally in the media.
Is Tony
as-
Collins still active, or did
in
she
the
retire?
country.
I think she's
No.
no, I think she's out.
She's out.
Living her
Out
life.
of the game, all right.
But you don't hear a lot of complaints about it, at least in part because there aren't a lot of Hispanic media members to make the complaint.
Sarah Spain?
Nope.
Got Spain in her name.
Not a play on for me. Not a play on.
Jeremy made his
sorry.
way through.
Yeah.
Jeremy? Yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah, I've powered through all the
Whittingham,
difficulties and the plight of my
Whit-
people.
Whittingham?
Whittingham as well, but it is hard to identify sometimes when they look like Jeremy and Chris Whittingham.
Whatever do you mean?
If Chris Whittingham
Or me, for
well,
that
Chris
matter.
Whittingham. That's the funny thing. Chris Whittingham looks the part, but the name is kind of like a shield, right? If his name was anything else, would Chris Whittingham?
Well, my
be
parents did that purposely. My dad wanted to name me Luis or Gonzalo, and then they changed their mind because they didn't think that would be friendly. And so what ends up happening later in life, I have to go get his cartoon accent so people don't think I'm French.
We like to mock Whitty a lot. His Jim Gray take, aging nicely.
What was his Jim Gray take?
That he's going to have a better career, that he would not take Jim Gray's career.
Over his own?
He said it like years ago,
Dude.
and now he's like, he's going to be calling World Cup games in a few years, probably.
I'm telling you, he could call every single World Cup from here until the end of the world.
You wildly disrespect the career of
Jim Gray? Are you kidding?
If he become if Whitty becomes like the top or second soccer guy
Name
soccer,
me all the soccer guys.
you know, there's Phil
Exactly.
Shane, I think.
Phil Shane.
Name me the soccer guys that you have at this level of
Phil Shane
notoriety
and then
that
Whitty.
everybody knows.
Jim Gray put together The Decision in his spare time.
Jim Gray knew Snoop Dogg when he was 12 years old.
I'm not saying he has surpassed him. I'm saying that
He
take,
can never
we
surpass
mocked him. It's just like
He'll have Whitty will have a great career. Quitty. It's Quitty. He is Quitty, to be honest.
Jim Gray also has a Hollywood Walk of Fame star.
Woody will never have one of those.
And now, top 5 moments from our NBA Finals live stream with Mero. OLI, Stan Van Gundy got a job at Amazon.
Stan now works for Amazon. He's going to go to Amazon.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, Pop.
He's gonna be a
Amazon,
delivery
holla at
guy.
me.
Yeah, he's just He's just delivering things
Packages,
for Amazon.
that's
It's not a great job.
I thought that he was going to be broadcasting from a new division.
He said,
with Amazon, you never know.
No, hard times, Dad. He's got to deliver packages. So if you need something, if in an emergency, Stan might bring it by
Stan, don't
the
knock
house.
on my door. Ring the doorbell, please.
Yeah, please.
Okay,
Leave the package
gotcha.
at the door.
OLI, Poppy reacts to Samson's poor Spanish pronunciations.
Poppy, I want to play some words that David Sampson has tried to say in Spanish. You try and guess what they are. What is this word?
Tetas. Tetas.
Oh, tetas.
Let's go. Let's go. If Poppy knows one
They're
thing.
singing my song.
Sure.
He said, I love this song. Are they singing your song?
They're singing my song.
Okay, who's singing your song and what is this song?
Bro, that's the tetas.
Teta arriba, coño, teta fuera.
Teta fuera.
Ahí sí, vamos.
What about this word, Poppy? What about this one?
Correcta. Correcta.
Careta. Face mask. Face mask.
No, I'm sorry, Poppy. That is croqueta.
Oh, croqueta.
No, dije, croqueta.
Correcta.
Croqueta.
Dije croqueta.
Dije croqueta, pero no sé.
Croqueta. You mean Dave Sampson spent about 15 years in downtown Miami.
I know, he's
He
in.
couldn't say
I know,
croqueta.
it's ridiculous. He got no influence from Latin culture. How about this one, Poppy? What's this word?
A gallivera.
Oh, that's guayabera.
He's on his game today.
A gallivera.
Guayabera.
Dan, I think it's a spark plug with the tetas. All of a sudden, it's a bit of a spark plug.
That
here.
goes,
bro. Tetas.
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 Number 5, Sam Morril says he respects the Pistons more than the Pacers.
Sam says he respects the Pistons more than the Pacers. Come on.
100%.
Come on.
Yeah,
He's not wrong.
Come on.
Wow.
The Pacers are a veteran team. They're deeper, but the Pistons scare me more for the future. I think this is the Pacers' one trip. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the Thunder clapping them. I think in 6, and that's that. But I think the Magic and the Pistons are the team next year. Those are the teams that scare me. The Magic are tough, man. They didn't have Jalen Suggs. They play a tough game.
He's right about that. They bother Boston.
Jalen Suggs.
Paolo Banchero.
Come home.
Jalen Suggs needed. Yeah. Come home now. Jalen Suggs.
He'll
If you
turn
can hear
his
this,
Derek
come home.
APB out. Come home. Milk carton that boy.
Yo, listen, Detroit was the best team the Knicks faced the entire playoff run.
Yeah.
100%. And I
What are you
respect them.
guys talking
I agree with
about?
Sam.
Hey, I like it.
Sam's right. Don't boo him. He's right. The Pacers are ass, bro.
When
They're
you
just
look at
very
the
deep.
breakdown of the series, Dan,
There's
it
some
makes
deep
sense.
ass. They're deep ass.
Super ass.
God hates Knicks fans, and that's why that Halliburton shot fell in.
That's
Okay.
100%.
And it's like Angels in the outfield, except it's some fucking demon.
Yep.
Who's
Jim
torturing us.
Irsay.
Yep.
It's just Jim Irsay.
Rest in peace, by the way.
Fucking Jim Irsay had to die that day.
He did?
They sacrificed his ass for a fucking finals run.
He really did? That's crazy.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
He perished
He
the
did
same
not
day?
die
On that day, yeah.
It was a Christopher Lloyd. That was Just Call Me Al. It was Irsay.
Yo, that's crazy. He tweeted out. He was like, yo, go Pacers or some bullshit like that.
I hate
And
him
then,
so much.
and then he died right out. That's crazy.
It's crazy. What do you think happened there?
That's wild. Too
I
much
think
Lucas
he
oil.
got sacrificed to the gods of the Midwest. Mike Pence was, praying to these gods, trying to
Had the courage.
not allow gay people to get married for years.
That's it.
The demons answered their prayers, and the Pacers got a finals run, but they will lose in 6 games.
Number 4, Jamel says the Knicks firing Thibs is like leaving your wife for a chick with a fat ass.
Okay, so here's the problem is I feel like the Knicks are going to be susceptible to the relationship 80-20 rule, right? They saw the chick with a fat ass and they had old girl at home who was doing everything she needed to do.
Except playing more than 6 people.
No, but that's okay. It's like, I feel like they had Not Gonna Cry Mary J. Blige at home.
Yo.
Right? And then they decided, like, I'm going to leave her for Cousin Faith from Soul Food.
Yeah.
This some black shit, Dan. You don't understand this.
I'm looking
but it's
right
okay.
at you.
It's okay. It's okay.
I like the Halliburton pack right now.
I'm going deep into it. I'm going deep down into it. Right? Messed around. Y'all hit Cousin Faith, and now you think, like, yo,
this is it.
This is it. And I feel like this is going to end terribly.
She's
for the
burying you.
For the next coach.
Listen.
Look, Not Gonna Cry was at home. She helped you build your business.
She did.
And she lit your shit on fire because you're such an asshole.
She did.
She did. And now you're going to mess around with Cousin Faith.
But listen.
Who you boned in the studio, and it's going to be bad.
Those 2 minutes of Cousin Faith hitting the spots that, you know what I'm saying, Mary wasn't hitting at home.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
But at the end
Chris
of the day.
just walks in and goes, what are we talking about? What's going on over here?
Number 3, Poppy makes fun of Jorge Sedano for being a Cubano arrepentido. No, hang on. Cubano
Arrepentido.
Arrepentido. Poppy makes fun of Jorge Sedano for being a Cubano arrepentido.
Now they gotta call you George Sedano. What is this now?
You always called me George Sedano.
Oh, no, I always call you Jorge Sedano. Off with the croquetas.
Do you know
it's Jorge Sedano and croquetas.
You know,
that's it.
No, but no. Espérate. Do you know why they call me George? Because my dad, my puppy, was Jorge, and my mom needed to know who she was going to yell at, okay?
Borte paquete.
Tremendo paquete.
Tremendo paquetón.
That's the highest of paquete.
Where you bought that one? In Macy's?
You know what, Poppy?
Get his ass.
Poppy, next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Luz that no more arroz con frijoles with you.
Oh, no.
We're missing the frijoles today.
That's not fair. You cannot take away my
There you
black
go.
beans.
You hit it where it hurts, George.
I know where to go.
Number 2, Tony reacts to the flagrant honk on Caruso's nuts.
This is clearly 2 shots. I just saw that they might be looking at this.
That's got to be a flagrant foul.
No, that's just a hard foul. He goes for his shooting arms.
Brought to you from the guy who said,
That
take a
was a
look
hard
at that
foul.
in hockey. Give me a break.
That was just a hard foul.
He doesn't.
Yeah, that was
he
a
doesn't
good
get
Gave him a
foul.
little honk there on the bottom there, too. I didn't like that. I don't know that
What was the honk?
What did
You
he
tell
do?
me.
What do you mean there was a honk?
He got the arms, but then all of a sudden there was a honk. I
did
was like,
see a
whoa.
honk.
You saw the honk, right, Jew? Okay, making
It was
sure.
a honk.
A bit of a honk.
Check the undercarriage. Before you do one of these.
Wait a minute.
They're reviewing the honk. That's what it is.
That was not a honk.
Yeah, honk. They honked him.
Wait a minute. Mero's out here doing some sort of ultrasound on testicular cancer.
That's what he did. But at game speed, you don't see him go like that.
That's the thing. It's too fast.
See?
Oh, look. It's look
Steve
at me,
Javy.
referee Steve Javy.
Bang, bang, play.
Oh, I think that he flopped.
They tried to Steve Javy.
Flop on the honk. Wow.
I think he flopped.
Here you go, Dan. Here you go. So he hits him in the shoulders. Here you go. Boom. All right, we're coming around now. Whoa! There's definitely a honk.
That's a
That's a
flagrant
flop.
one on
That's
the
a
honk.
flop.
Bobby,
That's a flop.
That's not a
That's
flop.
That's a flop. That's a flop.
Oh, come on, Sam. Yo, he grabbed his croquet.
That was a quick whistle.
Bobby, that doesn't make any sense as analysis. That's a flop.
That's a flop.
No, that's not.
That's crazy.
Dad, what?
Bro.
Wait a second. He honked?
He honked.
He honked?
We're reviewing the honk. Flagrant one.
Bro.
Honk.
He gave him a prostate exam real quick.
It's a fix.
That's wild.
Now it's a fix.
Wait a minute. My father's
Get
now
a hold of that ref.
All right, we're gonna have to, Bobby. You're gonna have to leave. I'm sorry, you're out of control. It's late night. I'm gonna have to get you out of here.
No.
I
Look
got
at Caruso. Look what they.
I'm telling you.
It's a fix, Bobby.
Yeah, that referee, you got to check his credentials out.
Here he is.
That guy. I don't trust him at all. Looks like he's on the take.
Upon review, we do not have wind up.
We do have a honk.
We do have contact.
Not a flagrant
We
foul.
do not have a honk. Therefore,
It was a clear as
we
day
do not
honk.
meet the criteria. He said no honk. I read it. I'm telling you.
We got an obvious and clear flagrant honk.
Number 1, Tony, Mero, and Poppy sing, oh God, hang on, Te suelto el pelo? Is that right? Te suelto el pelo?
All right, this one's a little bit more sensual. We're staying in the Yandel topic, but te suelto el pelo.
Oh,
te suelto el pelo, te quito la camisa, tu pantalón, y después
te come completa.
Poppy, you want to translate that?
Oh, you caught me off guard here.
You want to try again?
Poppy, I'll say it slow.
All right, Poppy,
te suelto el pelo.
I let your hair loose.
Te quito la camisa.
I let go of your hair.
It's playing refrain.
I take your shirt off.
Ajá.
Poppy.
Tu pantalón.
Well, no.
Poppy, come on.
Wait a second.
Poppy,
Y después
te como
Your mother
completa.
is next door. She's going to kill me.
you said tetas.
Tetas, yes. Well,
Poppy, you said that they're singing my song. That's what you said. And now he says. And now
but this is getting more right to the point.
No,
you know?
This is more intimate. This is more intimate.
This is a lot more intimate.
More graphic. Pants. You take. Let's start again.
Te suelto el pelo.
I will let your hair loose.
I pull your hair.
Oh.
Okay. I let go of your hair.
Te quito la camisa.
I'll take off your shirt.
Tu pantalón.
Oh, no. Wait.
But that's where we get jammed up right there. We get jammed up right there.
Tetas is cool. Taking your pants off is
I
not.
don't understand why you're stopping there. Just translate for the English audience. Let's start again.
Te suelto el pelo.
I will let your hair loose.
Te quito la camisa.
I will take off your shirt
Tu
off.
pantalón.
Oh, you're also your panties.
Y después te como completa.
Not your panties, just your pants. Not your panties.
It's a 2-for-1 there, Dano. Come on, it's a 2-for-1.
Pantalón, okay.
They were not your panties, Dad. They were
slacks.
They were slacks. I'll take off your slacks.
I'll take off your slacks. There's definitely reggaeton. Yo, every girl I picked up at Latin night reggaeton party was
Yeah.
They were wearing
Yandel
slacks.
was bumping, dude.
Yeah, that was bumping, and they was all wearing
And
slacks.
Weeson. Both of them. Well, yeah. For Rakata, yeah, for sure.
Welcome to the Pitch Clock. Here's the pitch, a 2-part baseball segment combining a nostalgic baseball trivia game and an interview with an expert. This is the Pitch Clock. Taylor's triumphant return to the Pitch Clock.
Hi, everyone.
Taylor, hey man, it's good to see you here. I'm glad you're back. It's not because we don't like Ethan, but it's because we love you. Anyway, we're excited. We'll have
Fake Cubs fan.
Not a Cubs fan. Just appreciate Wrigley Field.
But we'll have Jack McMullen with us as our 2025 MLB expert.
Did you just call Jackie McMullen Jack McMullen?
No, Jack McMullen is actually the radio.
You gotta get Jackie McMullen.
Honestly, I didn't even realize that Jack McMullen.
Is that his? Is that
it's his name?
Is it her son?
No.
Oh, it should be.
But he's the radio play-by-play announcer for the Miami Marlins and also hosts the Just Baseball podcast.
Wow.
And he'll be with us soon to talk about baseball right now. But that's not what's important at the moment.
Wow.
What's important is that Taylor is back and he has Taylor trivia.
Can you
and
ask-
my mind has been blown over the idea that his name is Jackie McMullen.
Can you ask him about Jackie McMullen?
I'm going to start calling him Jackie.
Thank
That's
you.
all I know for sure. Taylor, what is our trivia game for today?
We're dialing the trivia back a little this week.
Sure, thank God.
Last week I went back and watched. It felt like 103 on the black.
It was nuts.
Right now, we're gonna turn it down to like maybe like a 94 mile per hour fastball. But you're gonna get
I'm on a
three
go ahead.
of the top 5 starters that a team had in 2005. You have to tell me whose rotation it is.
Okay. All right. That sounds more
I like
reasonable
this.
than the previous.
I like
so
this. If you give me multiple names, I can tell you what team they're on.
I think that means Chris is going first because I think I went first last time.
I'm on a
around.
3-game, 3-week skid. I've been terrible the last 3 weeks of trivia.
Well, let's see how this goes then.
Yeah, okay.
Chris Cody first. Ryan Franklin, Joel Pinheiro, Aaron Seeley.
What year is this?
2005.
That is the Seattle Mariners.
It is the Seattle Mariners.
Wow, nice call. That's well done.
Joel Pinheiro. That's the only one I had.
Yeah.
Snapping a 2-week streak of Chris not getting an answer right.
Yes. Wow.
Oh, I didn't get one right?
I know you didn't last week. I didn't realize the week before too. Jeez.
I'm back.
Oh man, now I'm afraid to lose.
Jeff Weaver, DJ Holton, Odalis Perez.
That's tough. I'm gonna. Chris knows the answer, doesn't he? In 2005. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Where I think Jeff Weaver is, I know there are at least 2 other starting pitchers who pitch for that team. And so in turn, this would mean I know the full rotation. But I don't know for sure, and I think I might be relating it to something else. So I'm going to go ahead and say somehow, and I don't know that Weaver played here, that this is the Milwaukee Brewers.
It is not the Brewers. Chris, chance to steal.
That's not right.
Stupid. I'm just going to guess the Angels.
It's funny.
Right city, wrong team. It's the Dodgers.
It was the Dodgers. So what's funny about where
Dallas Perez was a Dodger.
Where
Damn
you
it.
just went was where I went at first, which is Jeff Weaver being on the Angels. But really, that's Jared Weaver.
Bronson Arroyo, Matt Clement, David Wells.
I'll go with the Yankees.
It is not the Yankees. Chance to steal, Jeremy.
I know this one. I want everyone to know that I know it. You look away.
No, but there's no way. All right, I'll look away.
You look away. I want. No? Okay. I feel better about this.
Jeremy, chance to steal.
We should leave that in.
I want that left in. I don't know, obviously, what was said. I know that Bronson Arroyo pitched for the Red Sox around that time.
Also, take a word away from there.
But right. So that's the other team that I'm thinking of with Bronson Arroyo, which is the Reds. But I don't remember David. I certainly don't think David Wells pitched for the Red Sox.
I can't picture him being
no
a Red.
way. But I don't think
you picture him as a Red?
More than a Red Sox. I'm going Cincinnati Reds.
It's right. That's definitely right. Matt Clement definitely played for the Reds. God damn it. When was David Wells a Red?
It's not right.
It is not the Reds. It is the Red Sox.
No!
Matt Clement's only All-Star team was with the Red Sox in 2005.
No,
I need to see David Wells in a Red Sox jersey.
in a Red Sox uniform?
Wow. Oh, yeah. It does kind of ring a bell.
God.
Well, I'm glad because I was going to go Reds.
That
makes me
sucks. And now he's here. Not Jackie, but Jack McMullen, who is the host of the Just Baseball Show. And I don't want to say new anymore because he's been doing it for 60 games or so now. But the radio voice in his first season with the Miami Marlins. It's been my pleasure to get to know Jack over the last several months. I know he and Ethan Badowski, who you heard his voice last week on the show and throughout this episode, are good buddies working at Just Baseball. Jack, it is a pleasure to have you here, man. Welcome to Miami and welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here. Listen, as somebody that works on Miami Marlins telecasts like yourself, you should know that we're about 75 games into the season, not 60-something.
You know.
We're past the 70 mark. And our radio intro, so the opening billboard to the game keeps on saying new voice of the Marlins, and everybody's giving me crap for that. It's you're not new anymore.
Not new.
We're 3 months into this thing.
Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, leading Major League Baseball in home runs. At the time of this recording, he's at 32. And it has been a spectacular season. The pace that he's keeping at the plate is akin to Barry Bonds in terms of home runs. But Aaron Judge is also playing the best baseball of his career. So is there a world, Jack, where when you look at these two guys, that Cal Raleigh can steal that AL MVP when we're a few months from now from Aaron Judge?
LeBron James should have won way more MVPs than he actually did.
Yep.
I think we are nearing a LeBron effect with Aaron Judge. I don't think we'll ever get there with Shohei Ohtani as long as he's doing both. I think Ohtani, it's his award to lose in whatever league he's in. But with Judge, you can only be far and away the best for so long. And then at some point, it's like, oh, Judge is doing his thing, right? With Raleigh, it really does feel like he could be gifted an MVP because of the LeBron effect. And I'm kind of the camp that Raleigh should be in position to do that. He has more homers by the All-Star break than any other catcher in Major League history. He passed Johnny Bench, and anytime you pass Johnny Bench, I'm in on you being the most valuable player in a league. He is, I saw this note from Mariners PR this morning, which is just unbelievable. This guy to this point, you said 32 homers, and his RBI total gets him to 100 homers and RBIs combined at this point through 77 games. This is the quickest that a switch hitter has gotten to 100 combined homers and RBIs since Mickey Mantle did it.
Good
so anytime
Lord, that's a good one.
You're passing Mickey Mantle and Johnny Bench, I feel really good about you.
Jeremy, your names: Jose Contreras, Orlando Hernandez, Freddie Garcia.
Chicago White Sox.
It is the White Sox.
Yeah.
World Series champs, White Sox.
Yeah. That's
At least that wasn't an easy one.
Chris Cody, Andy Pettit, Roger Clemens, Wandy Rodriguez.
I dropped Wandy Rodriguez a few weeks ago when we were playing a game. Remember
Yeah,
we
you
did
did.
like
Yeah,
we had
you
the
did.
initials. It was
Uh-huh.
like WR.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
fun.
dropped
Good
the
times.
Wandy.
It was the Houston Astros.
It is the Astros.
Huh.
Almost like you
Almost
shouldn't
World
be
Series
complaining that
champion.
they're so easy.
Yeah. Well, I think you went down and got me the second easiest one because you're
Nope.
like, I feel bad after that World Series one, so
You
I'm gonna give
jerk.
Chris the easiest one left.
We're building into it. We're building into it.
2-1.
Jeremy, your name here to finish the third round. Dan Herron, Joe Blanton, Kirk Sarlos.
That's the Oakland Athletics.
It is the Oakland A's.
Shit.
Yeah, come on, man.
Wait, who was the second one?
Dan Herron,
Yeah.
Joe
Joe
Blanton.
Joe Blanton. Wasn't
Joe
he-
Blanton started his career
With
as
a
an
Philly.
A
Wasn't he a
before going
Phillies?
to the Phillies, I think.
That's why I thought it was.
Tied at 2.
Look
Yep.
at us. How about that?
Who'd have thunk it?
Chris, Doug Davis, Chris Capuano, Victor Santos.
Brewers.
It is the Brewers. A quick Brewer get from
Come on, Chris
Cody.
Capuano. You know where Chris Capuano is. I mean, come on.
Jeremy, Chris Benson, Victor Zambrano, Kaz Eshihi.
Yeah, baby.
I don't know this at all. You know this?
Hell yeah, I know it.
Tampa Bay Rays.
Not the Rays. Chris Cody, chance to steal.
The hat I always wear that I don't root for.
So the Pirates.
Pirates.
Shocking, he misses it.
Yes! Chris Benson was a pirate.
Yes.
Chris Benson was mostly a pirate.
The two names that you missed in the rotation that they didn't have, Tom Glavine, Pedro Martinez, it's the Mets.
It's the Mets.
Chris
Damn.
Benson was a Met after, or maybe before. Damn it.
Chris Cody, Esteban Loaiza, John Patterson, Tony Armas.
I've done this before where I just pick one out of like 30 teams and I get it right. Esteban Loaiza, National, or whatever, Expos.
Nationals, it's
You
right.
kidding me? That's ridiculous.
I was just like, where have I thought of it?
There
Like,
is
I was just like,
no
I knew Esteban
way.
Loaiza played on them at one point.
In the first year of the expansion nationals. It's going to be really interesting to see how it evolves and also the type of player, because it does feel like there is starting to be a bit of a shift in Major League Baseball away from certain characteristics being valuable in the way that they once were. And I do think you're right. There seems to be a lot more value placed on how quickly can we get this guy to the bigs, and whether that's a college player or a high school player that you might feel is more polished and quicker to where you want them to be.
Teams can start drafting based on need. That has never been a problem in the MLB draft. It's always been something you do in the NBA draft and the NFL draft. We need an offensive lineman, let's draft an offensive lineman. In the MLB draft, it has forever been, let's take the best guy and see what he can do.
Yes.
And if he's good, we can turn him into a trade asset if need be. Dansby Swanson was the #1 overall pick, and he was traded 6 months later for Shelby freaking Miller because he was an asset. He wasn't a need for a team, but Pittsburgh needed a frontline guy. They drafted Paul Skeens. Guess what they have now? I do think that you can start drafting based on need if you go the college route at the top of the draft.
All of those guys are hoping to become stars, and there's a couple of stars who have been having spectacular seasons, but particularly the last few weeks. One who just recently returned in Ronald Acuna Jr., who is, if I have these stats correctly, hitting 750 with a 3 million OPS since returning. I think that's what it is with Acuna, and he just stopped here in Miami. There's also Christian Yelich, former Marlin, who has been really spectacular over the last couple of weeks as well. These NL outfielders, which one do you want to focus on here as we wrap up the expert portion of the pitch clock?
Let's do Acuna because if I'm not mistaken, the OPS is actually 3,040,000. So Ronald Acuna Jr., I mean, this guy is 2 years removed from a 40-70 season. He was clearly hurt last year. Something was off timing-wise before he tore his ACL. Now he's back. I was watching Acuna take batting practice, and he was hitting tanks in early March. And I was like, when's this cat back? And they said, we have no idea. It looked like he was fine to come back then. They took their sweet time with him. He built up. And now he's tracking in a way that we haven't seen a guy track in a really long time.
The top-end excellence amongst the greatest players in Major League Baseball right now is so spectacular because it is more difficult to hit a baseball than it's ever been, with all of the different relievers, with the way that they're tapping into spin rate, with what these pitches look like inside and outside of the zone. And yet, the best of the best in the league are having seasons that are incomparable to anyone else in Major League Baseball history, a history that's nearly 150 years old. It's a damn good time to be watching or listening to baseball, and you can listen to Marlins baseball with Jack McMullen. Every single game, they've played more than 70. I found out.
They have.
You know, I knew that. I knew it.
That's an unbelievable plug. Thank you, Jeremy.
You're very welcome.
Jeremy, Chingman Wong, Carl Pavano, Kevin Brown.
So easy.
That's the Yankees.
It is the Yankees, even though you said it like a question.
No,
it is the Yankees.
It's the Yankees.
Carlos Silva, Kyle Loesch, Joe Mays.
Twins.
It is the Twins.
Yeah, good one. Good one.
He's staying hot, 5-3. Jeremy, chance to pull one back here. Mike Marith, Jason Johnson, Nate Robertson.
That's the Detroit Tigers.
We have 4 more teams.
All right.
Chris Cody is up 5-4. Chris, your rotation here: Gustavo Chacin, Josh Towers, Ted Lilly.
Blue Jays.
It is the Blue Jays.
I can't believe how wrong I was about all the details on this. What's the score?
It's 6-4.
Oh shit!
6-4, Chris. Three teams left.
Okay.
So if you miss this and Chris steals it, it is mathematically over.
All right, good. So with the MLB draft coming up, we had Kylie McDaniel on the show a couple of weeks ago, who sort of set the stage a little bit for what might be going on here, Jack. But I know you have a huge amount of focus on both the College World Series, which, by the way, if you guys didn't pay attention, holy cow, Cade Anderson. Yeah. A complete game. I mean, this is redundant in saying complete game shutout, but a 9-inning complete game shutout, 130 pitches. I believe 10 strikeouts in that performance. I mean, he was sensational for LSU. He's one of the top draft picks available in this upcoming MLB draft. Jack, when you're looking at the draft coming up, what are some of the storylines or players that you're focused on?
So, quick thing on Anderson. As a former sort of kind of bad high school baseball player, I can appreciate throwing 130 pitches to try and win a baseball game. As a possible number 1 overall pick that could be in line for a $10 million payday, I really don't understand throwing 130 pitches.
Like, it's so nuts, but I also I have an infinite even more amount of respect for him than I did going into that start, and I already had a lot.
It's a gamer. I mean, I saw a kid is playing pro ball in Germany, and he's skipping his championship series to attend the NBA draft ceremony. Like that's bizarre to me. So that and Cade Anderson, those couldn't be more different situations. Right. But Anderson, don't close your eyes because you need your eyes to see this. I watched his 2 starts in Omaha, and all I could see was Max Fried. The delivery is so Fried, and the curveball is such a young Max Fried. I love the way he operates, but frankly, I think there's a better left-handed pitcher in college baseball. Florida State's Jamie Arnold is a freak, and Arnold was the favorite to be the number 1 overall pick maybe a month or 2 into the college season. This kid, it's close to Chris Sale from an arm slot perspective and an arsenal perspective. So I just comp the 2 top college lefties in America to Max Fried and Chris Sale. I think we're in a really good spot.
Jack, thank you so much for joining us. And now let's get back to this game between Chris and I, which, we all know how it's going to go.
Mark Hendrickson, Casey Fossum, Hideo Nomo.
That the Dodgers?
No. It is not the Dodgers.
Okay, got it.
Rockies.
Chris Cody,
Rockies.
Steal and the win.
Rockies.
It is not the Rockies.
Oh, thank God.
Where did Casey Fossum? Who was it?
Thank God.
It was the Devil Race.
I wanted to keep it interesting.
Oh, all right.
I missed that on purpose to keep it interesting.
Yeah, thanks.
Again, Chris with another chance to walk it off. If he gets this right, it is over. Jeremy needs both points remaining to force a tie. I don't have a tiebreaker, so we'll have to come up with one on the spot.
I got you.
Jamie Wright, Byung-Young Kim, Joe Kennedy.
I'm going to go Rockies again.
Chris Cody walks it off. It is the Rockies.
I knew it! Byung-Young Kim! I thought I said that.
Man, he rocked it off.
Oh my God.
That was really impressive.
Because that's all I could think of. I know Byung-Young Kim besides the Dodgers. I was like, who else did he... I won?
Yeah.
I won.
Oh, it was brutal.
Bye.
Okay.